Welcome to Sinosaurus Rex. I'm Rocket, and today we're talking about Godzilla, All Monsters Attack. Now, this is Show Collection Volume 2, so we're moving on to this one finally. And if I don't know if you can see it here, it says 5 movie collection. There's 6 films on this. I mean, how do you balls that one up? Good job, lads. And then again, I watched the film, and yeah, see perfectly why they call it 5 film collection, because this is not a film of its own. This is a rehash. Godzilla does defend his title in this film, however, so we'll give it that. Now it opens with the strangest fucking music I've ever heard. I think it's going to be like a chat show. It's like Tonight with Godzilla. It has this funky little theme. However, we open and it's all about this little yappy kid. Now, we complain a lot in films that kids in films is like, oh, they wouldn't say dialogue like that, they wouldn't talk like that. No, why are they talking like adults? Kids don't act like this. These, they get it right. They get it right. This is exactly how kids act. Annoying as fuck, and you just want them to shut the fuck up. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, yeah, they got it right, but then you've got to listen to kids, and nobody likes children. So, the main focus of this film, I think it's this kid. He kind of gets bullied, I'm not too sure. He finds something silver on the floor and some kid takes it off him, and apparently it's just the end of the fucking world, that. His dad works on trains, he works late nights, his mum, she has to work late for some reason, so he's home alone. And there's 2 little robbers that have just stolen 50 million yen. Little kid, and he makes a lot of monster noises in this film. He's chanting random fucking noises. Goes to sleep on his bedroom floor or something, and he goes to, well, he starts speaking to Minya. Basically, he gets on a plane to Monster Island. I don't know how often the planes run there, or what. There's a runway, an airport, God knows how it runs. But anyway, gets on a plane to Monster Island in his dream. He meets Minya, and Minya can, for some reason, shrink and grow. So he's now the size of a child, but he can grow to like a monster size. However big Minya is, he's about half the size of Godzilla. So he's got a new ability from somewhere. And then he goes, look, there's Godzilla. He's fighting those 3 insects in the 3-on-1 handicap match that we've seen before, but they shoot it with different angles, so I guess it's a new fight. And we see Godzilla versus Ebirah, which is just a rehash. I think they re-edit it slightly different, but it's basically the same fight. And we see, Godzilla versus Harry the Hawk. Harry the Hawk, of all the cameos, getting Harry the Hawk back, that's a good one. We also get a rehash of Godzilla versus a bunch of pilots from Godzilla vs. Sea Monster. All these jets coming in, flying at Godzilla, shooting him. And Godzilla obviously destroys all the jets and kills them. And little kid here, he's cheering. He's like, yeah, go Godzilla. It's like, whoa, Godzilla has just killed about 20 pilots. Why are you cheering, you sick fuck? What's wrong with you? You're not right in head. I mean, he's like 8 years old and he's cheering all these dead pilots. It's like, fucking hell, this kid's dark. So, he wakes up, he's still getting bullied or something. And these robbers are still on the run. Police detectives are going round, they knock on this house, he says, excuse me, sir. You've got a nice car. I was like, yeah. Well, there's robbers about, so if you've got a nice car, they might want to rob that. If I were you, I'd just go and check if it's securely locked. I'm like, oh, right, thanks, officer. Like, I don't know if police are just going door to door telling people to lock the cars. Don't know why. I mean, it seems like a weird job. So we get to this little kid, he's now playing out or some shit, and he finds this building. I'm like, oh, an abandoned building, great, yeah, I bet I can find loads of shit in there. He goes running around in there. The robbers are hiding in there, by the way. And they hide from the kid, they don't want anyone to know that they're there. And they can see through the hole of the 3rd floor, and you can see down to the 2nd floor, there's this big hole where something's happened there, and you can see the kid. And then this kid, the robber, looks over, and his driving licence drops down. He's like, oh no, what am I going to do now? So we've just robbed 50 million. To be honest, I think losing your driving licence isn't a big issue here. We've got 50 million, let's just fuck off. Leave your driving licence. He's like, no, I like that driving licence, and that little kid's got it now. We're going to have to go get it. So that becomes a thing. Kid goes back home and says, oh, I need to go to sleep, I need to speak to Minya again. So he goes to sleep, and then we get another cameo of Godzilla versus Spygo. Now this has been edited in a weird way, like a really weird way, because we see Godzilla looking at Spygo, and it's like the camera's zoomed in on like an area of Spygo. We don't know what it is. All we know is that there's lots of hair and a hole. Don't know what exactly part of Spygo it is, but Godzilla, it just shows the hole, shows Godzilla like licking his lips, and it's like, at this point you don't know if he's going to fight him or fuck him. You just don't know what's going to go on. It's like, oh, getting a bit dicey here. And then something comes out of the hole, pokes Godzilla in the eye. Whoa, it's like, don't know what kind of film this is turning into, but I'm not liking the direction. So there's another monster knocking around the Monster Island called Gabara, which is conveniently the same name as the bully that beats up the little kid. So Minya thinks, you know what, I'll take Gabara on. He goes to fight Gabara, Gabara just kicks the shit out of him. And the little boy's like, oh no, Minya, my best friend, he's just got his ass kicked. He wakes up and the kidnappers have got him. Like, they've broken in and they've kidnapped him. Like, it's like, ah, come on kid, you've got my driving licence. So you think, well, we'll just get our driving licence back and go off. For some reason they think we've got to kidnap him now, for some reason. So they're dragging him out of the house and go, whoa, 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 let him put his shoes on. I know we're kidnapping, but we're not fucking animals. Let him put his shoes on. Jesus, what do you think we are? Woo. So they let the little kid put his shoes on, then they go back to the abandoned warehouse, tie him up with a handkerchief, and like, yeah. And I don't know what the plan is. I actually don't know what they're trying to do here, because they're in the hideout again. So, you know what, we should go rob a car. So the car that the police told this man to lock up, they're going to rob that car. And they break in, he's like there, getting the wires, it's like, oh no, it's not starting, what am I going to do? So he runs back in the building to tell his boss, you know, I've not managed to get it running or something like that. And he leaves all the 50 million in the sidecar. Then the guy whose car it is comes down and he goes, wait a minute, this car looks familiar. Oh, it's mine! Why is the engine running? What's this in there? 50 million? No, that's not mine. And then he runs off to the police, runs off to report this to the police. Meanwhile, this kid's fallen asleep again or something. God knows why he falls. He falls asleep a lot, I don't know what's up with him. And then we see Gabara versus Minya again. Now, Godzilla is in Minya's corner for this. He's cheering him on, he's Minya's manager. So he's like, so obviously Gabara can't be that much of a threat because Godzilla's just letting him beat the shit out of his son. And his son calls him Godzilla in this film. It's like, he doesn't call him Dad. It's like, it's your dad. Call him Dad. Don't call him Godzilla all the time. So he's saying, go on son, go beat him up, go beat him up. He just gets his ass kicked. And then Minya runs off and hides behind a rock. Then Gabara comes looking for him. He's like, oh, where is he? So whilst he's looking for him, he's standing on this like kind of a seesaw. And he's now back to kid size Minya. He's speaking to the little boy. He says, why don't you just jump on that seesaw and then it'll ping him on his back. He goes, yeah, that's a good idea. So and then he jumps onto the seesaw. You never see him transform into Big Minya again. So for me, he's still Little Minya, but for some reason he's Big Minya again by the time he hits the seesaw, which you don't see happen. Gabara goes flying, and then he lands on his head. He's kind of won the match. So Minya does beat him. I mean, the tactics questionable, but he does beat him. Godzilla comes in, starts clapping away. He's like, you know, well done, son, well done. And then as he passes, he just kicks Gabara in the head. He's like, hey. And then Gabara is like, why the fuck you kick me? I've lost the match, right? I were happy losing the match. There's no need to kick me when I'm down. You know, that's just uncalled for, that Godzilla. So he loses his shit then, Gabara. So it's ripping into Godzilla's leg, bites him whilst he's on the floor, gets up. He's like, right, you and me now, title on the line. So here it is, Godzilla, Gabara, title on the line. And pretty one-sided, Godzilla beats the shit out of him, basically. I mean, if his son beat him up, it'd be a bit embarrassing if Godzilla didn't beat him up, did he? So Godzilla beats the shit out of him pretty much, dumps him on his head, and Gabara runs off. He's like, oh, fuck this, I am out. Yeah, there's too much for me. So Godzilla, still your heavyweight champion. So now we get the little story concluding with little robbers. And they actually forget to dub a part of the film. Because the guy who's just found his car, that's his engine's on, money's in thing, he goes to report this to police. He's in a phone box, and he's just doing this. You just don't dub that part of the film. For some reason, it's just not dubbed, so we don't know what he's saying to police. He's just in the phone box, just moving his mouth. Long story short, police come and arrest the two men. It's like, yay, well done. And the little kid meets these monsters, meets the bullies again, called Gabara, same as the monster, has a fight. And the way the fight shot, I think it was just filmed so badly. They think, oh, we can't pass this. We filmed this and it looks like shit. So this is kind of like they're showing this fight as if you've not paid for it. Basically, it's like the fight's already happened, but you're seeing it the day after on like Raw or something. So you know, like they just show pictures of the fight and you've kind of got to guess what's happened. That's what they do with this end fight for some reason. I mean, no one gives a shit about two kids fighting anyway, so it doesn't really matter that it's a piece of shit and filmed. This film is an hour long. Well, an hour and 6 minutes long. It's probably the shortest. It's probably the shortest. I've not watched them all yet, but it's probably going to be the shortest one, I imagine. It's just a rehash. There's two new fights. Not really much to say about them because they're not really anything special. I probably wouldn't bother watching this. I'd rather watch the fights that the actual came from because they've shortened them and edited them, so they're a lot shorter now. So, I mean, I guess it's only an hour. Still, I wouldn't recommend this. So we're not off to a good start with the Show Classics 2 here. Not the best of starts. It passed the time, I guess, for an hour. I mean, it weren't that horrendous because at least you could kind of laugh at how bad it is. So I can't really give it much of a score. I'm going to say it's going to be a bit of a low one. I'm going to say 4 out of 10, I think, because nothing really new here. We've seen these fights before. We can't give it credit for things it's not done before. Our next film is Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Now, from what I gather, this is a 70s one, and apparently it's worth this. We got fucking freaky as shit. I've not seen it, but I know it goes mental apparently. I think it goes to like anime and turns into all kinds of weird shit. I think it goes on about pollution and there's all kind of weird messages about it. It's like Godzilla is promoting peace or something. I don't know. Well, Godzilla does defend his title, so next week, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, title on the line. Be there. And these police detectives are sitting in a bar. There's a guy serving him the beer, and they're like, "Oh God, how much did they steal them?" He says, "Oh, they stole 50 million." Says, "How much is that?" "What do you mean, how much is it? I've just sold you 50 million. What more do you want me to say? What? It's 50 million. It is 50. What? How can I explain that further? You run a business here. If you're running this business and you don't know anything about money, you don't understand how it works, how the fuck is this place still open?